The sun was sinking low over the African savanna, staining the endless grasslands with deep orange, copper, and blood-red shadows. Heat still shimmered above the cracked earth, but the air was slowly cooling, carrying the distant calls of birds preparing for night. Everything felt heavy, quiet, as if the land itself was waiting. From the far edge of the plain, a lone Cape buffalo emerged. Its massive body moved slowly, each step pressing deep into the dust. Old scars crossed its dark hide, white lines from past horn clashes, faded bite marks from lions that had failed. One horn was chipped at the tip, a reminder of survival earned the hard way. This buffalo was no young victim. It was old, experienced, and exhausted. Ahead, a shrinking waterhole reflected the dying sun like molten metal. The buffalo lowered its head slightly, breathing hard. Every breath rattled deep in its chest. It had walked far, pushed by thirst and habit. It did not know it was being watched. High above, among the twisted branches of an acacia tree, a leopard lay motionless. Its spotted coat blended perfectly with shadow and bark. Yellow eyes tracked every movement below, unblinking. The leopard's body was tense, muscles packed tight beneath skin stretched thin by hunger. Days had passed since its last successful kill. Smaller prey had vanished. Hunger sharpened its thoughts, silenced caution. Leopards were ambush hunters, calculators, survivors. And yet, even now, instinct whispered a warning. Too big, too dangerous. But desperation is louder than instinct. The buffalo reached the water. It lowered its head to drink, lips touching the surface, sending gentle ripples across the pool. For a brief moment, it was vulnerable, neck exposed, focus broken, senses dulled by thirst. The leopard moved. In a sudden explosion of motion, it launched itself from the tree. Branches snapped, dust burst upward. Time seemed to fracture into sharp, violent seconds. The leopard slammed onto the buffalo's back with a heavy thud, claws digging deep, teeth searching wildly for flesh. Water erupted around them as the buffalo screamed, a deep, thunderous bellow that rolled across the savanna like distant thunder. Pain ignited fury. The buffalo surged forward, muscles straining, hooves tearing into the ground. It bucked violently, twisting its massive body in desperate attempts to shake the attacker loose. The leopard clung on, claws scraping, slipping, re-gripping. Its jaws napped near the thick neck, but the hide was tough, the angle wrong. Dust, blood, and water filled the air. The buffalo charged blindly, smashing through tall grass, slamming its body into the earth. With a violent roll, it crashed sideways. The leopard was thrown off, spinning through the dust before hitting the ground hard. For a moment, silence. The leopard lay still. Then it moved. Slowly, painfully, it rose to its feet. Blood dripped from its mouth. One shoulder sagged slightly, damaged but not broken. Its chest heaved as it sucked in air, eyes still locked on the buffalo. Hunger had not left. Fear had not won. The buffalo turned to face it. Its sides heaved, breath steaming in the cooling air. Blood trickled from claw wounds along its flank. The buffalo stamped the ground, lowering its massive head, horns angled forward like weapons forged by nature itself. Their eyes met. In that frozen moment, everything else faded. No birds, no wind, no distant animals, only predator and prey, both wounded, both alive, both refusing to surrender. The leopard crouched low, tail twitching. Every nerve screamed warning. One mistake meant death. Yet the need to finish, to eat, to survive pushed it forward. The buffalo charged. The ground shook under its weight. Dust exploded beneath its hooves as it surged forward with terrifying power. At the last possible second, the leopard leapt sideways, claws grazing flesh as the horns sliced through empty air with a deadly whistle. The buffalo skidded to a stop, turning too slowly. But the leopard did not follow. Instead, it backed away, step by step, never breaking eye contact. Its body trembled with exhaustion. Hunger still burned, but survival had finally spoken louder. With one final stare, the leopard turned and vanished into the tall grass, swallowed by shadow. The buffalo remained, alone at the water's edge, wounded, shaking, but standing. It lowered its head again, not to drink, but to breathe. The sun slipped below the horizon, and darkness began to claim the savanna. There was no victory here, no triumph, only life continuing, scarred, exhausted, and unforgiving. The sky darkened into deep shades of violet and black, and the first stars appeared above the savanna. The heat of the day finally loosened its grip, replaced by a cooler air that carried unfamiliar sounds, whispers, distant movements, low calls from creatures waking in the dark. The buffalo remained near the waterhole. It stood motionless for a long time, legs spread slightly to keep balance, head lowered. Pain pulsed through its body with every breath. The wounds burned, sticky with drying blood, attracting insects that gathered in quiet clouds around its skin. It flicked its tail sharply, stamping once, then again, refusing to lie down. Lying down meant weakness, and weakness at night meant death. From somewhere beyond the tall grass came laughter, thin, sharp, unsettling. Hyenas. They had heard the sounds of struggle long ago. They always did. They did not rush. They never rushed. They waited, watched, measured. The buffalo turned slowly, facing the darkness. Its eyes strained to catch movement. Its ears twitched, rotating toward every sound. The memory of the leopard's weight, the sudden pain, the explosive chaos still echoed through its body. Muscles trembled, not from fear, but from exhaustion held tightly in check. Far away, unseen, the leopard rested. Hidden beneath thick grass, chest rising and falling rapidly, it licked its wounds in short, careful motions. Each movement sent waves of pain through its shoulder. The hunt had failed. Hunger still gnawed, but life remained, and that, tonight, was enough. The leopard lifted its head once, listening to the distant calls of hyenas, then melted deeper into shadow. The savanna had already chosen. The buffalo took one slow step away from the water, then another. Each movement was heavy, deliberate, fueled by stubborn will rather than strength. It would walk through the night if it had to. As long as it stayed on its feet, it lived. Behind it, the waterhole reflected only darkness now. No blood, no bodies, no proof of the violence that had unfolded there. Only silence. By morning, the grass would hide the tracks, the dust would settle, and the savanna would continue, indifferent, endless, unforgiving. Because in the wild, survival is not about winning. It is about lasting long enough to see another sunrise.